Hey everyone, welcome to today's episode of The Animated Thinker, where we talk about relevant topics solely from my own personal experiences without any assistance from AI or any other essays. So, if you find this topic relevant, I highly recommend you give it a listen. In today's topic, we'll talk about why fat shaming is on the rise. Fat shaming is the act of criticizing, condescending someone who you perceive to be fat or who does not meet your expectation of what a fit person should look like. While there are many factors which could impact something like this, but obviously the major one would be the rise of social media. Now, I am someone who has struggled with body image issues and I do struggle with losing weight. It's mostly because of genetics, but social media definitely paints this picture of how one ought to be like these days, and which definitely catalyzes the overall overall sentiment of fat shaming in the society these days. The societal pressure and beauty standards which exist are far more than what they used to be back in the days, because then you only had access to magazines or maybe some black and white TV to look at the fit and the good looking people. But these days, everywhere you go, you have your phone on you, and that's all it takes to have those unrealistic expectations. On top of that, the diet culture, the fast food industry, and all are contributing factors which was not let's say 20 years ago, 30 years ago. So, as a result of which, it's so obvious to me that the fat shaming and the condensation, did I say condensation? The condescending attitude towards fat people is on the rise. Now, I do have some solutions to this, but at the end of the day, you just have to understand that these times are a result of many factors which have contributed to such attitude amongst people, and it's not solely your fault. Had you been this way 20 years ago, not as many people would have cared, because they don't know what the beauty standard ought to be like, what so and so from XYZ place is looking like. So it's obviously a very difficult situation for someone who just wants to live their life on their own terms, but they constantly get compared to others just because they saw something on social media. Now, fast food doesn't help, but it's also a well-known fact that the food in circulation these days is not as organic, and there's always some kind of a mixture or some kind of additives which is going on, which also adds to this. So that's my personal opinion on this topic. I hope to see you in the next episode.